What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're going to be taking a look at all 4 of the new multiplayer maps within the Ascendance DLC. Going to be going through all 4 of them within this video, kind of like cutting through highlights of some clips. Right now you're seeing Site 224, which is the first map we're going to take a look at, and this is probably the most interesting out of the 4 maps, to be honest. It's got this kind of like very strange like alien feel to it, and of course you can see the grapple gameplay as well. This is also within the time I was playing it, the grappling was enabled, so you can see me grappling around, and we're playing hard points. It kind of got a little bit competitive, but that's why you see me grappling around. And of course, if you want to see some full grappling gameplay, I'll link my gameplay on that in the description, in addition to some Exo Zombies when that is released on my channel as well. Make sure you're staying tuned. But this is Site 224, and it's got this alien theme to it because there's some sort of like UFO that's crash landed onto the map, and it's got these green like barrels everywhere. These work very similarly to most explosive barrels you probably expect. There's a ton of them on this map specifically. There's a ton of them just littered around in like specific little places, and there's a lot of kind of ways to get killed. So definitely make sure if there's like an explosive green barrel around you, one of these like tanks holding this green stuff, make sure you're not getting shot around it because it will do damage, and there's basically an extra way to die. So definitely watch out for that. And of course, there's also the dynamic map event for this, which is actually a kill streak you can get in care package. But no one's even like rocking the care package. I think like one person the entire game called in a care package almost managed to steal it, but it wasn't, of course, the map event. But that turns into like this alien like super soldier. You can see people through walls, and but that is definitely the event. And I really like this map overall. I think it's pretty cool, not too vertical, which I like. Next, we're going to move on to the climate map, which is pretty interesting as well. This is probably a little bit more vertical, and then the ones towards the ends are going to get very, very crazy. Definitely stay tuned for those multiplayer maps. But this is called climate, and I'd say it's definitely got like medium verticality. It isn't like too many places you can go. There are a few like different stories and like maybe like staircases, but for the most part it's very simple, and it's kind of locked down to its lanes. And it's also got this kind of like these water aspects to it, which is very interesting. Probably the most unique part of the map, because they actually change halfway through the map. With the map event, you can see them kind of like trying to swim around in the water like a fish, and just kind of like seeing what you can actually do, any place you can go to. But it's pretty much like the normal water you'll find in Advanced Warfare maps. But at some point through the game, the actual map event will happen, and you see the gameplay of it when it actually happens in game. But like this generator managed to fail, and all the water like turns green and like boiling because the water can't control itself, and it's basically like toxic and it's like super hot. So it's very, very strange. When that happens, you literally can't step into any of the water. If you do, you get severely damaged, and you can see like how it turns green, and it's very kind of like hazardous. So that's kind of like the map event. It kind of locks off certain areas of the map, and you have to kind of watch where you step, which does make things a little bit more difficult, and you kind of can't go to some of the places that you normally couldn't take shortcuts. So you got to kind of go a long way around. If there's someone in a specific area, you really have to kind of like watch where you're stepping. So that's definitely one of the most interesting part about this map, and that is the dynamic feature. Of course, all the maps have their own kind of dynamic elements, things that kind of change. Some of them are in care packages, some of them are kind of like timed events throughout the map that happen, and that's what happens on this map. I played, I think, mostly like kill confirmed. I played a bit of uplink on it as well, which is the gameplay you're seeing right now, and I was using the ASM1 in this gameplay. I found the barrel didn't really do me all too many favors. Not sure why, but I didn't really seem to do all that well with it. I did a lot better with the ASM1, which is very strange because I expected it to be more of a medium range map, but my gunfights tend to be a little bit more close quarters. Like this map kind of lets on to be like a lot bigger than it actually plays, and most of the gunfights you do engage tend to be very close quarters. So I found personally ASM1 was very helpful for me. And then next up, we're going to go on to the map Perplex. I think this is probably one of the most fun maps to play. It's absolutely crazy, and it really took me by surprise like just how it plays and what like the map entailed. Like at first like glance, I say the trailers and like the cinematics and pictures, I expect it to be a little, like very standard map. The dynamic feature of this is that there are like these cranes or like little drones that fly around, and they take almost like cranes. They take these like crates and shipping like living areas, and they move them around. They like shift like the space, so your lines of sight, like the pace you can go, the things you can jump on, they're changing. And also I think like the hard point, a lot of objectives are all around there, like the B flag, and there's some hard point rotations. You've got to kind of watch out where you're going, and also they might crush you as well. So it's kind of like one of those things you've got to watch out for. But it really surprised me, this map. This is, I think, the most vertical map in Advanced Warfare, which is very strange. It seems like they're pushing a lot of boundaries with their DLC. Like the DLC 1, they introduced the smallest map in the game, which was urban, and this map is very, very strange because it's easily the most vertical map in the game. Like it's actually insane. Once you play it yourself and you kind of see the scale, it's actually crazy just how high you can go, and it makes the grappling hook like 10 times more useful than it normally is, because normally you can kind of get around the map and get to places quicker, but this map you can literally get vertical way more quicker. And I found I could use my advantage very, very easily getting to the top part of the map, because that was where the B flag was. And you can see me getting some really, really crazy clips because these guys aren't using their grappling hooks, and they weren't really used to it, whereas I was kind of zipping around, and I was kind of like able to get around the map very, very quickly as compared to them. They were kind of like taking the old route. They were like jumping physically up to the boxes and kind of boosting around, whereas I was just zipping around the grappling hook, and I was literally running circles around these guys. So definitely use the grappling hook if you're playing the version of this place that has the grapple enabled. sword, I would say is definitely like the most essential part for this map, because you can literally get like across the entire grap to the middle. You can just like navigate to places where the enemies aren't able to very easily, so you'll literally be just like steps ahead of the competition, the enemy team, if you can use your grappling hook. And it's very simple to use, to be honest, so definitely make sure you're utilizing that. And you see me just like zipping around that, doing some crazy stuff with this like grappling hook, and it's so much fun. It's actually crazy. You can get from all the way from the bottom floor. If you just aim up and like aim the right place, you can get the grappling hook right to the top floor and literally go right to the very top, which normally take probably like a very long time to actually jump up, and like you run out your boost, you got to wait for a second and to get your strafe like recharge. But I would definitely make sure my number one tip for this map will be to use the grappling hook, because it's absolutely amazing. And of course you have to be in the players to use the grappling hook. But yeah, this is a very crazy map, and again, it really surprised me how vertical it was. I feel like it might break up the gameplay if you're playing without the grappling hook, because it can be very slow. There's a lot of little like ledges and places people can hop onto, and it can be very confusing. I'd say the first time you play, you'll be very confused, just kind of where everyone is and kind of where everyone's going, and like how to get certain places, because like your minimap is kind of useless because people are on very different levels. Like, as I say, it's one of the most vertical maps, so everyone's on like different levels, and you don't really know exactly like where people are in relation to where you are, so like up, below, or like on the same level as you. So it definitely trying to get used to your minimap, and it's a very confusing map, I would definitely say. And yeah, I would definitely say one of the most cool maps. Like, it's bright, it's cool, it's colorful, and Domination plays very well. I think I played Domination, also Hardpoint, and I think honestly I'd probably rather play this map with the grappling hook. I don't think I'd really like to play this without it, because as I said, it just makes things so much more slower. You can't really get around, and you can see this gameplay just how quickly I can like maneuver the map with the grappling hook. So I definitely recommend checking out the grapple playlist, and if you get Perplex, I would definitely vote for this map and try it out. It's definitely a lot of fun. As for weapons, I went for the ASM1 because it's probably one of the most close quarters maps out of the DLC. And finally, we're going to take a look at Chop Shop. This is the final map out of the 4 in this Ascendance DLC, and this is a map that I showed off with my grappling gameplay, but this is going to be like more of my weapon, kind of like the gun skills, and less of the grappling hook focus. And of course, as first half of the gameplay with the IMR, I wasn't using the grappling hook, so you can't like have that enabled at all. This is kind of like the normal Advanced Warfare playlist that will also be available when the DLC drops. And but yeah, I was using the IMR. I kind of figured it would be a little bit more slow paced playing uplink, and I managed to do kind of like a decent streak with the IMR because it was a little bit more long range. I thought this map would be a lot smaller than it actually is, but it's actually quite big, and it kind of limits the verticality because there's a lot of roofs, a lot of kind of like narrow buildings and hallways where verticality doesn't really do you any favors if you're hopping around. So this is nowhere near like as vertical as Perplex was, but it's got like decent buildings and some windows you can get into. Again, I feel like they did tailor it a little bit more kind of towards the grappling. There's a lot of kind of surfaces which look like they're kind of built for grappling hooks and to kind of get around. Of course, I think it does play very well without grappling hooks, unlike Perplex, but I think it's a little bit slow without grappling hooks. I think this one is just fine. And now you see a bit of ASM1 gameplay with the grappling hooks enabled. You kind of see the difference of the paces and how people kind of maneuver this map. The dynamic feature of this map is also this very strange like magnetron device, and you get it from a care package. Unlike, it's not like a timed event that happens throughout the map, and it's basically this thing that you can like place down, very similar to the Guardian from Black Ops 2. You place down, it basically blasts radiation at the enemies, which slows them down, disorientates them, and eventually kills them if they get too close and stay in it too long. So that is dynamic feature for this map. I didn't manage to obtain it. I wasn't rocking the care package. I didn't really think to. I was just using UAVs as my kind of like go-to score streak, which I normally use when I don't in the maps, to be honest. But yeah, this has been a look at all 4 of the multiplayer maps within the new Ascendance DLC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like rating. Make sure to check out the other videos I've done covering the Ascendance DLC, so Zombies, which will be out very soon, and also a bunch of grappling gameplay, kind of like a montage of my best bits. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more videos on this channel, and I'll see you guys later.